I believe that power is within all of us. We just need to let it go and embrace it. Mm-hmm. And too often we're fighting the mental noise that tells us we aren't what we think we are.
Ladies, grab your coffee, stilettos, and hop on the Hott Mess Express. What is going on, Hott Mess Express lovers? It's Kassie Kennaugh, your fabulous host today. I am here with Wonder Woman.
Wonder Wendy.
Wonder Woman Wendy Farrell. When you leave a message on her phone, that's the funniest part, FYI, because I'm like, wait, what did you just say?
I don't remember what it says on my voice.
You have to change your voicemail just for the record.
Okay. I'll go back and listen to that. It's probably been there for years.
Well, it's you. It says like you've reached Wendy Farrell's phone or something like that, and I was like, that is not what it sounded like in my ear earlier. So I literally was like, wait, what? I have to call you again. Just
okay. But do you know why it says you've reached Wonder Wendy's phone?
Why?
Because it drives me crazy when I call somebody and it says, "You have reached Jennifer." I'm like, no, I haven't reached Jennifer. I've reached Jennifer's voicemail. So please stop telling me I've reached you, because I'm actually frustrated that I haven't reached you. And I'm going to pray you listen to this message and that your phone doesn't eat it, because I have another girlfriend whose phone eats my voicemails, like routinely. I will have to text her, "I have left you a voicemail." She goes, "I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went."
It's an Android issue.
I actually think maybe it's a compatibility issue. I'm Android and she's not.
Yeah, she's probably smart and has iPhone.
So her phone eats my messages?
Yeah, because it hates Androids. This is a continuous battle, by the way. All of my friends that have Androids, legitimately, I have to tell them, do me a favor and just let me know you either A, saw it, send me a middle finger, thumbs up, or something, because half the time I get their text messages like 7 times in a row, right? Like if they send a picture.
Oh, wow.
I got a picture from one of my friends the other day. "Hey, I found these. These are great. They're like one of my new faves." Apparently, because I got your picture 3 effing times, like, great. And he's like, "Well, I don't like them that much." Well, apparently your phone does.
Your phone is ecstatic.
Yeah. So, yeah. The issue between Android and Apple, I swear they do it just to piss people off, like me.
That would presume a higher level of intelligence than I want to give to the program.
Right? Let's be honest.
I'm going to be just candid about that one. Programmers mess with your shit just because they like programming, and they're like, let's change it again.
I think they purposely do it just to like laugh, have something to laugh at. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like watching us go, "Why isn't this working?" And they're like,
okay, possibly.
Possibly. Okay, so back on topic.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. This is how we are, though.
I can discuss anything.
Yeah, literally. Yes. So, okay, in case you guys were all curious on who Wonder Wendy is, Wonder Wendy and I met, and we didn't realize that we met until after we met again.
Right. Well, we realized we'd met, but we didn't realize we were meeting again the next time we met.
Correct. But yeah, so it's comical. But when I met Wendy, it was at Arizona Fashion Week, and she was the MC for one of their it was a
Fashion
dinner.
Previews. It was media night then.
Okay. That was like what?
That was like
forever ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It was in 2023, so that
I've
means
slept
like
since then.
years.
So I know, right? Exactly. So we met then, and then after we ended,
and had that immediate, I like you, I like you, I like you.
Right, yeah. Because you're just Wonder Wendy.
And you're so likable.
I mean. So then we met at Travis Brady's house.
Yes, we did.
And I went.
We were actually working side by side.
We were.
Which was the really funny part. Like, we've been working together for the last 2 hours. And then suddenly
you handed me your business card, and I went.
No, I left my phone down.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
On my phone, you're like, wait.
I know this chick.
You gave me your card when we met back in November. Oh, is that you?
And I'm all like, hold on a second. I think I have it still. And I legit did. And I was like, oh my gosh. But then I was like, oh yeah, you're the chick that was in the blue dress with the hood. And we talked about da-da-da-da. And you're like, I really told you all that? Yeah, you did.
Apparently, I have very few filters. So fasten your seatbelts.
So tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Today, I just saw a great meme. It says, Persephone is both the overlord, or the mistress of the dead, and the goddess of springtime and flowers. Why can't I be both?
You are.
And I kind of resonate with that. Like, stop trying to put me in a box and give me one identity.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's you.
I was given the name Wonder Wendy by my now husband when we first met. He just immediately started calling me Wonder Wendy. And at first it was kind of a cute little Wonder Woman homage. And that was, and so suddenly everything in my life had stars on it. It was insane. It was insane.
And don't you have like a huge thing now of like Wonder Woman?
I have a large Wonder Woman collection.
Yeah,
yes,
okay. Yeah,
yes.
just for the record.
But as time has evolved, I have stopped being an homage to Wonder Woman. I have become Wonder Wendy. Mm-hmm. And when people say, what does Wonder Wendy do? I say, whatever the hell she wants. So I embrace opportunities. And one of my speaking points in my Facebook page that I manage is the wonderful bucket list life. And that's wonder hyphen full bucket list life. And the bucket list life is not about preparing to die. Because so often people don't write a bucket list until they think they have an end date on their life.
Right.
And they're like, this is what I need to do before I die. I need to fit all these things in.
Right.
I want you to prepare. I want everyone to prepare to live. Because guess what? You're going to die. Mm-hmm. Whether you plan on it or not.
Right.
But planning to live, too many of us forget to do that. And so the bucket list life is about finding opportunities, embracing those opportunities, and jumping. So often I do, whatever the hell I want. So I've been doing some MC work with Arizona Fashion Week. I've worked on a few other events. I've been on a couple of boards that are working with women's groups and helping women with empowerment and such like that.
Which we love. This is what we love.
If we aren't reaching back and helping other women, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. We have come so far in our lives. And, I was, many years ago, back in Vermont, I was actually president of Burlington Business and Professional Women. And we were so much about identifying the strides we'd taken since the 1950s, and you were called a girl in the office. Mm-hmm. And finding new opportunities to empower women and move them forward and recognize what needs to happen. And I feel so anxious that young women don't realize how far we have come. They see granted, there's problems today.
Yeah.
We are seeing an erosion of rights. We're seeing changes that aren't positive. But when you look back at old movies and old TV shows from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, mm-hmm. and I think back to what some of the things I faced as a young woman in the 80s, we've come so far. There's so many laws in place now that actually protect us. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I'm all about taking where I am and helping others. And that's...
Did you know?
And having fun doing it.
You do 1,000%. There is no dull moment with you ever.
My husband prays for those dull moments. He really does.
Please God, just a normal rug. That's all I want is a normal rug. No, but legit, did you know that within the next 10 years, women are actually going to financially control 82+% of the finances?
Are we talking household finances or are we talking all the money in the world? I don't believe it.
Why not?
Because it still seems like the top of the totem pole, usually there's a man holding the pocketbook. And so and I realize that it takes a long time to change that.
Yeah. Well, and it has. I mean, it's taken us decades, centuries mm-hmm. to be able to get there.
The pay equity gap has not gotten that much smaller, and groups like Business and Professional Women started fighting that in the 70s, mm-hmm. and we're still under 80 cents to the dollar compared to men.
Well, I was Sam Knickerbocker, who you know Sam, love mm-hmm. Sam. He's probably gonna kick my derriere for this and not giving the right time frame and the percentages and whatever. So Sam, you can come and correct me later. But he's the one that. And I love it because Sam is a man mm-hmm. who promotes, empowers, and lifts up women and their financial stability. And him and I had a conversation one day, and I said, why do you want to push and essentially market women to become financially sustainable. He goes, because at one point of their life, they're going to be alone. Whether it be now, 10 years from now, 10 days from now, 10 hours, 10 minutes, whatever, they're going to be alone and they're going to have to financially be able to figure stuff out. And I literally thought about that one day and I said, I want women to figure that out now. Because through everything that I've been through, even to this very day, I control my finances.
Wow.
I control them. Nobody controls them for me. I know every penny that goes out. I know where every dime goes. Like, you name it. I write my own checks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know those things with paper that you have to sign. I know
what checks are. I'm older than you are.
So, but that, for me, that's the empowering aspect. I wish we had more men that sought and felt that way.
Well, and the other aspect that most studies have found, and that's why in developing countries, well, I don't know where we're going on this one here.
I know. Hey,
but developing countries,
Mess,
a lot of the times, the best programs are ones that create an economy for the women.
Yep.
Because if a man has money, a man has beer. If a woman has money, her children are fed, and she's creating a society. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say this is all men. You know who you are if you are that man.
Right.
But in general, women will put their families first, and that economic need will better sustain a family. So you're creating a stronger community if you empower women. Mm-hmm. And that's actually what I thought you were going to say about Sam, is that Sam was recognized this about women, but maybe he has, and we're just not discussing that part.
No, he loves, he honest to gosh, and he will promote his wife 1010%. He will promote me. You know what I mean? When he does his I call it his legacy tour, right? All of his events. That's what it is. It's all about empowering the women to stand up for themselves and learn. Because again, when we think about it, okay, when you go to make a purchase, right? And let's go to the old school mentality of, okay, men make the money and the women are at home and they, cook, clean.
That's what my mom did.
Right? Which there's nothing wrong with it. Let me just be very clear. If that's how, then fine. That is your relationship.
Right.
However, we go back to that mentality or that point in time.
Which isn't ancient history. Do you know we just marked the 50th anniversary of a woman being able to get a credit card without her husband's approval?
Yes. Do you know, we're going to total tangent anyway. So go back to that. Remind me about that one. So you go back to that. The woman actually helps tell the man how to spend the money. Mm-hmm. This is what I need, so on and so forth. So we're now, fast forward to 2024, I tell myself how to spend my money. I actually have taught many men how to invest in money. That is one of my jobs, right?
Right.
And I have men come to me and go, what do you think? Now, mind you, some of these men that have come to me are in their 40s. So in all reality, women are slowly but surely moving up the ladder in financial responsibility.
Yep.
But you still have the old school where when you made that point, if her husband passes away,
she doesn't have credit rating.
She doesn't have jack crap. Do you know how many clients I've had come into my office and go, hey, my husband passed away, right? And she's already way overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And she goes, you need to take the credit card off the account because it no longer exists. And I'm like, what do you mean it no longer exists? Like, you guys are married. It's a joint. Nope. This poor lady, she, bless her heart, she's the sweetest old lady. And she was in her 70s. She's 76, 77. Okay. Husband passes away from cancer. I loved her and her husband.
So he knew he was dying. I mean,
yes,
I'm not, but this isn't like he got hit by a bus.
No,
and
no.
Went,
so he knew he was.
What a surprise!
So
he's dead.
So he knew he was dying, right? However, what he didn't know, because the credit card companies reluctantly didn't tell them, is that because he was the primary card holder, when he passed away, she lost all rights to that account because she was just an authorized user. And none of it touched her credit report. So this poor lady's like, I had to close that credit card. She's like, and of course they made me make the final payment on it. I can do that because the man's deceased. She's like, but I can't use it. And I went, how long were you guys married? And she goes, 43 years. I said, in 43 years, you were an authorized user. And she goes, yep. And to get a credit card now, my interest rate is 25.9%. And I went, shut the front door.
So I did say my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just to give you a reference of time frame, I am the youngest of 6 children.
God, Lord.
And my parents...
Bless your mother's heart.
All same mom. All same dad.
I would hope.
I just put that one in there. My father fought in the Second World War.
Okay.
So I am biologically a boomer, even though by my birth year I am not.
Correct.
This seems to be a common topic of conversation.
It is, yeah.
So just put that into framework. And my mom basically, she worked for 4 years at one point between the 5th child and the 6th child. And that was all she worked outside the home during their marriage. But he was very careful to open a credit card just in her name and run things through that on a monthly basis. So, there are strategies and there are ways to live your life, but it does, but still that you're dying of cancer and you didn't have someone help you get things in order before you died.
Well,
which, I have a binder.
Well, they did. Don't get me wrong.
Husband
She knew everything, right?
Okay.
So they came in with me and had a final meeting, right, to make sure all of their insurance stuff was in order.
Right.
Because we knew, right? They're getting ready to, okay, cool. So her name was, on everything and she has access and we had everything was good. Bills, utilities, everything. I mean, they called and said, hey, just FYI, here's where we're at. Yep, okay, she can, But when she called the credit card company, again, not thinking like, yes, she's an authorized user.
Right.
Okay, cool. In that phone call, nobody said, well, yeah, she's an authorized user, but once you pass away, your account no longer exists. Nobody said that to her. So it hit her like a ton of bricks. But it was such an eye-opener to her where she went to her daughter and said, make sure you have your own.
Oh, yeah.
And she looked at me as she's sitting there because she comes in and visits often because we love her. And she's such a sweetheart.
Does she bring cookies?
So she just brings
sounds
her
like a person that brings cookies.
Well, I have cookies in the office, so
Okay.
it's fine. Yeah, we have like the whole snack bar and stuff. So she just comes in to visit, which I
I'm
love.
going to be that old lady that'll bring in shots.
You would be.
Hi, I brought the vodka.
Actually, 5 o'clock,
would be
5
scotch.
o'clock somewhere.
It would be scotch.
Just good scotch.
Good
Please.
scotch.
Okay, yeah. And I've got the ice in the office, so you're good.
Doesn't need ice. Why would you ruin it with ice?
Oh, I have to have it cold. I don't drink warm water. Room temperature water grosses me out. My liquor cannot be room temperature either. I don't know why. It's a thing. Like
Okay.
my water is filled to the brim of ice. Like I go to restaurants and I'm like, can you give me extra ice? And then they bring me like half and I'm like, can I get a cup of ice, please? And they look at me funny. Like, you didn't bring me enough. I don't know. It's weird. I was told.
Did I mention you should fasten your seatbelt because you never know which way we're going?
Did I ever tell you that I was told, this is the stupidest thing, and it was so funny because I looked at him and I went, what? I made a comment one day about needing ice. And I said, well, why don't you drink? He's like, I don't like ice water. I like room temperature water. And I said, why? And he looked dead at me, right? Was serious as all get out. And he goes, well, it takes your body, your body can't digest the water with ice quicker because it freezes your insides. And I went,
Okay, that phrase is a little weird, but I have heard that drinking too much cold water can be harder on the body than drinking room temperature water. And who was it was telling me this story? It was an acupuncturist I was seeing.
oh, interesting.
Not seeing as in dating, but as in getting acupuncture.
Yeah.
And he was telling me about a client who was having issues with menstruation cycles and digestion. And after a while, he said, stop drinking ice water.
Interesting.
And literally, it changed everything for her. It was a game changer that she started drinking room temperature water.
Well, unfortunately, I'm never going to do that. So I guess my digestion is just going to...
You're going to have to suck it up,
suck it up.
And deal with it that way. But it's not outside the realm of possibility that... And of course, like all things, that's not necessarily for everybody.
Right.
You know, some of us can eat gluten. Some of us can eat dairy. Some of us love every food.
I said in the interview with Ron, I'm a fat girl that loves food. Now, really, I'm not a fat girl, but give me the chocolate cake all day. Now, if my trainer is listening to this, I don't eat chocolate cake, I swear to you.
Me, it's that one container of ice cream. That's a single serving. Just give me the spoon.
It is. Thank you. There should not be.
How would you even get How would you get part of a serving out? I don't know. So I grew up in Vermont, where Ben and Jerry's originated, and they didn't actually make the ice cream. They used mix from University of Vermont, mixed shit into it. That's how they started. So it was actually UVM ice cream. Just going to put that out there.
Interesting.
But,
I didn't know that.
A little aside.
Side note.
And so when I was in college, they would have this freezer of seconds in the lobby of the store for $1 a pint.
Seriously?
They were imperfect. Sometimes it was because like the Heath bar didn't get broken up, so you'd have like an entire Heath bar in there.
Score. That's a spoon.
Sometimes it was Heath bar with no Heath bar in it because it didn't get properly mixed.
So it's just vanilla.
We get this defective Ben and Jerry's ice cream, but it's still really high quality ice cream. And you know, you're a college student, so $1, 2 spoons, and 2 friends with 50 cents.
I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a couple times we did try to actually apportion it, and we just took the pint and we cut it in half with a serrated knife. It was the only way we could, because you can't scoop out those little pints. They go from frozen to milk.
That's why they're
First
serving.
world problems. These are really
Like,
first
oh
world
my God,
problems.
these are.
And I still occasionally go, you know what? It's an ice cream day. And
My
those
trainer would
days,
kill
I
me.
looked at my husband and I say, "We're not having dinner tonight. I'm having ice cream."
You know what I call those? I call those my Costco days.
You just walk around, eat all the samples, and you're full.
No, like I go to Costco to get bulk because I'm that hungry, that hangry, and it has everything I want, from chocolate to meat to chicken to,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Those are my
you've
Costco
got kids,
days.
so you still do Costco. I live with my husband, and we don't need that volume of food anymore.
I eat that volume. You should have seen what I ate last night.
Well, then you look especially good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's all the protein. It's the protein. Okay, so back to topic, right? Now
Which topic are we back
I know.
to?
Kim walks in and I'm all like, okay, back to topic.
Let's
I'm
act
just
like
kidding.
we knew what we were doing here.
She can hear herself over laughing. So, okay, so back to the women empowerment aspect. So
Yes.
how do you help? What do you do? What have you seen?
For me, I don't consider myself as someone who empowers, because to me that creates a mental image of handing something down. I more look for the germ that's already in you and water it. I believe that power is within all of us. We just need to let it go and embrace it. Mm-hmm. And too often we're fighting the mental noise that tells us we aren't what we think we are. You know, just like you say, I'm a fat girl.
Not really.
You've shown a few pictures, and there were times in your life when you weren't as svelte as you are now.
I was just healthy.
You know,
Healthy plump.
and the borderline between healthy and, your doctor would like to see your cholesterol and your blood sugar be a little bit lower.
Right.
Is slim. And that's where we have to fight that battle. But those messages, and me as a postmenopausal woman, mm-hmm. I talk to a lot of women who think things have passed them by as they hit menopause, as they are menopausal, as they are postmenopausal. Mm-hmm. I can't do that anymore. I have vaginal atrophy, so I guess I'm not interested in sex anymore. I'm like, okay.
Can we call BS?
So I like to help people look for the possibilities and empower themselves.
Yeah.
Because me building you up isn't going to do anything for you, because you're just going to have to call me in 2 days and say, I'm still a fat girl. And I'm still going to say, no, you're not.
Right. So you heard Rhonda, right?
Yes.
So you walked in when you heard Rhonda. And so she said something very similar to that too, where she says, you have to find the inner strength. What did you think about Rhonda's?
I can't even conceive. You know, we've all been through shit.
Yeah.
We've all had hardships. You know, I could tell stories that'll make you cry and all that. And I just don't want to live in that place right now either, much as she said. But to hear what she went through, and with such, well, I'm going to bring the word grace back.
Yeah.
She was amazing in that perspective. I still have a strong thread of vengeance. It's hard for me to not
We're redheads,
get
that's why.
even. And getting even isn't always overt. It can be as, you know, oops, I left that cord where you trip on it. Oh, that's too bad.
I forgot to tape it down.
You know, I can't imagine that level of I'm moving on and I'm going to let that go.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am friends with my exes, so
Yeah.
I guess I do have a little bit of that. Because I don't see any reason. They've both got good lives now. I've got a good life now. Why would I be angry at them?
I think that is something that becomes a topic very quickly, and it's a hot topic because you hear a lot of, divorces, splitting up, whatever the case may be. And I tell people all the time, my ex and I, we share children.
Mm-hmm.
We're not like best friends.
No.
But let me tell you what, the relationship that him and I have, because we have mutual respect for one another, it goes so far.
Oh,
These
it's so
people,
good for the kids.
well,
So good for
exactly,
the
yeah.
kids.
And I tell people, like, it doesn't matter how nasty of the breakup it was, right? It could be like I've got somebody that's going through some, and I tell her at the end of the day, you're gonna have kids together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to like them, but it's still the kid's dad. You still have to have a little bit of respect for him. You know, as hard as that is.
There's a reason you chose that person.
Yep.
There's a reason you chose to have children with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. That's the present. That's the gift.
Yep.
And then when the toy breaks, it's time to get rid of the toy.
And it's fine, right? And you live without the toy.
Right.
It's not a make or break it. And one of the things that I actually that I told this person who's very close to me, I told her, I said, listen, at the end of the day, he made you stronger. And you can thank him for that. Because now you're having to go through trial and tribulation that you didn't think that you'd have to go through, but you're still going to come out in the end. And in the end, you can look at him and say, thank you for being such a class A douche canoe, because you have made me that much better and that much stronger.
I would say that my first husband challenged me in ways that made me a stronger person, and probably might regret some of the choices he made that pushed me to become that person.
Sure.
But I'm so grateful I became that person.
Yep. And I guarantee you he learned a lesson. Whether he wants to admit it or not, men are a little bit more stubborn than us women, for the record. I don't know if that's
I think
true,
we're
but
a little more receptive to change and understanding.
some of us. I mean, let's be honest, that's a whole thing. Some accept, some don't. But men, I mean, they learn the lesson as well, right? I mean, it could be, you guys were married for, and I'm not saying you, but these people were married for 10, 11 years. You messed up, you lost it. Lesson learned. Sorry, she's moving on. She's being happy. You need to learn how to do the same thing with as much grace and beauty as she did. Good luck with that.
We also need to learn that you can like something and not want to live with it.
Yeah.
I love ice cream. We've already discussed this.
Yeah.
But if I lived on ice cream, odds are I would not feel good. My skin would look bad. My hair would look bad. Not that those are the most important things, but hello. My calcium might be okay. But
Maybe.
those things said, I can't live on ice cream.
No.
And there are relationships in our lives that they can come and go from your life. You're not intended to live on that.
No. You're not. And you have to live and learn.
Right.
And that's honest to God what I tell a lot of the women that I talk to and see and that message me. I just had a message here, 2 weeks ago. She said, how do you do what you do? Because I literally can push, right? And say, I learned my lesson. Here's where we're at. I'm not going to repeat those mistakes. If I'm stupid enough to repeat that same mistake, what's causing me to be stupid enough to make that mistake,
Right.
right? What have I not learned? And that for myself and for every woman should be a learning point.
Every experience is a learning opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the biggest shit storms I land in, I actually sit down and go, okay, God, you put me here for a reason. Can we figure out what it is and move on?
Can we figure out? I'm going to use that next time. I'm sitting on this rock. Please just... What was the point?
I
Thank
know
you.
I'm supposed to learn something. Let me learn it and move on.
Okay, so I asked Rhonda what if you could give the ladies that listen, the children that listen, one piece of advice. What would it be?
Trust yourself. It really is so important to learn to trust yourself. The other day I found a journal that I'd written 17 years ago. And I read those words and I went, oh, damn it, that sounds like what you just wrote 2 days ago. Why did you not listen to yourself 17 years ago? Why did you have to go through a whole nother saga? Why are you living the Odyssey? You
Right.
know,
Isn't there a country
when
song about that?
you already wrote that answer down. You just didn't know how close to the truth you were.
Yeah. I mean, we are semi-smart when we're younger.
Right.
We're more in tune with ourselves when we're younger. Do you know that?
I think we have so much noise in our heads we don't know what to listen to.
I agree. But emotionally, we are like, we're feeling all of these things and we're writing all of these things down. As adults, we learn how to
Shut things down.
right? Instead of just listening to our
Well, and as moms and wives and citizens of the society and everything else, we are always listening to all these messages. And, okay, so I'm going to go to yoga this morning, which is selfish. Mm-hmm. Is it?
No.
And then I get a call from my friend Kassie, and I'm going to go be on our podcast. That's fun. Again, it's selfish, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully somebody's hearing something they need to hear.
Right.
So, I'm taking on this role in my life that I have a message from a higher spirit on my heart. Mm-hmm. And I need to talk about it.
Yep.
Because somebody needs to hear what I have already learned.
Or somebody just needs that extra affirmative.
Right.
What she just said is what I thought. And oh gosh, she's right.
Yeah.
And let me be very clear when I say, because I know some people are going to probably take what I said out of context. Children do not know what they want, but they are more in tune with their emotional aspect. So
I've
let me
often
just
said the worst thing you can do for somebody is give them exactly what they asked for.
Yeah.
Because often people don't ask for what they want. They ask for what they think they want, or a manifestation of what they think they want.
Yeah.
And you give it to them and they're miserable.
Yeah.
So, going back to that first husband and how he taught me great lessons accidentally.
Right.
We were living in Kentucky. He was in the Army. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go home to see my family for a family reunion. And I had a 9-month-old baby and a dog. He says, well, you can't go back east and visit just your family. You have to visit my family too, because they want to see the baby. Oh, okay. Sure. So I guess I'll be gone for 2 weeks then. He says, well, you can't go for 2 weeks because then we'll have to put the dog in a kennel. I'm too busy with work. I can't be caring for the dog. If the dog's in a kennel for 2 weeks, it'll change his personality. What I heard was, you can't leave unless you figure out what to do with the dog, and you have to be gone for 2 weeks because you have to see. I listened to everything he said.
Really? That's what you heard? I heard, I'm too lazy to take care of the dog. You need to figure it out.
I'm not going to even have that argument. I'm not even have that argument.
That's what I heard.
Because he was a very important Army officer who couldn't be bothered. I mean, I couldn't find the time. Anyway. I'll let that one go
L-A-Z-Y.
because, like I said, we get along pretty well.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah, my bad.
Let's not do that. We've been divorced for a long time.
Right.
We still get along pretty well.
That's fine.
But that's what I heard. Mm-hmm. This was the construct. You need to go for at least 2 weeks to balance out the relationships, and you need to find a way to care for the dog. So, well, I guess I have to drive then, because that's the only way I can. I'd never done a road trip like that alone. Never.
Oh my gosh.
And so I load up this car, and I worked out a route that I stayed with family or friends, and I went from Kentucky to Vermont in 2 days, staying with friends in Western New York. friends I'd never met before. They were friends of family. And learning all these incredible things, like how do you find a safe place to stop and nurse your baby and walk your dog? Can you identify a more vulnerable person than a woman traveling alone with a nursing baby and a dog?
Nope.
And this dog was not a pit bull. He was not vicious. He was like, so I did this trip. And I drove all the way home. I was there for 2 weeks, and then I drove all the way back. It was hard. I was exhausted. There were times I was a little bit afraid. Mm-hmm. You'd have to find, it was summer, so you have to find shady places to park your car so the dog's not cooking while you try and nurse the baby, find food for yourself, all this stuff. But do you know what?
You got through it.
I did it. Mm-hmm. So what did I do the next year when the family reunion came up? We're going to come for 3 weeks this time.
Because I'm driving again.
It's just so exhausting. I just don't want to go for it. And I think that's actually what was the tipping point of my inability to deal with his rules. Mm-hmm. And my ability to go, I can pretty much do whatever I set my mind to.
Right. Yep.
So when I say he accidentally taught me things he probably grew to regret.
That's one, yeah.
That's exactly the message.
Becoming independent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not that I was, dependent.
No, but being more confidently dependent.
Yeah.
Independent.
Like, I can do this really weird thing and go off on a trip to Mars by myself.
And I have nursed a baby and I have done this
and you have not truly had fun until you stop at a gas station because you have to go to the bathroom, you have to change your baby, and the gas station bathroom is so gross. There is absolutely nothing you want to touch.
Correct.
Absolutely nothing.
Been there.
And it's not like there are other choices because you're somewhere in rural Ohio, okay? And so
Northern Arizona.
You somehow manage to hold the baby while hovering over the toilet, which is a special adventure.
Yeah.
And then change the baby by kind of throwing her in the air and ripping off the old diaper and throwing a new one on.
Legit. Or laying her on your arm and doing it.
Yeah.
And
Cirque du Soleil has nothing on this.
No. We could literally sell major tickets just for the record. Watch this. Oh. Wendy, it has been an absolute pleasure. I know that the people are probably going to be laughing hysterically and also going, "Oh, okay, wait, back up. What was that tip?"
Your questions.
I know. Please don't send questions. So thank you so much, everybody. If you do have questions, please check out Wonder Wendy on Facebook. Her
the Wonderful Bucket List Life.
Yes, the Wonderful Bucket List Life. I do follow it, and it's comical. If you ever need a laugh, that's definitely where you want to go.
I try and keep it upbeat. I haven't really been paying enough attention to it this summer. We'll be getting back to it. And on Instagram, if you just want to see my really weird life, I'm wonder.wench, like a pyro wench.
Yes. Yes, that is her. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next time on the Hott Mess Express. I appreciate you guys listening. For more information, more reels, more crazy stories into my crazy hot mess of a life, hop on my Instagram. It's the Hott Mess Express, HOTT, the Hott Mess Express. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.